Okay, hello. Hi, everybody. Chris Adams here. It is 10 a.m. 10 something in the morning, and I am having my morning coffee. I just was looking into some interesting things, and one of the documentaries I remember watching not that long ago was called The Babushkas of Chernobyl, and it was very funny to see that there are people living in Chernobyl, and have been since pretty much right after the accident. And I was like, how is that even possible? I remember watching that going, how is this possible? How are people just living in Chernobyl? And you look into certain things, and I believe what I've been learning is that the way people describe nuclear bombs as well as fallout is it's not exactly what they say it is, because it burns off much faster than it has been reported for some reason. So in Fukushima, Nagasaki, and why can't I think of the other one? Anyway, the other one, Hiroshima, there's no radiation, and plants and animals and people are just chilling there, and there's a city that's doing well. And it tripped me out when I found that out. I was like, what? And then I remember hearing there has to be genetic effects. And turns out that is not true. According to, I just looked this up, but according to John Boyce of the National Cancer Institute, this was from a New York Times article, August 1st, 1990. They did a 40-year study of thousands of the Japanese that survived the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and they did not have any genetic damage, which was shocking to me, because I was like, well, that was a nuclear bomb. I thought that, we all die from that, and and then it irradiates the planet forever, but that isn't actually what happens. In Chernobyl, there are people there that are thriving. In fact, their biggest concern is they want more money from the government because there's no jobs. They're more concerned about jobs than radiation. And there's actually people that are moving into Chernobyl because the prices are dirt cheap. And that's another thing that tripped me out. I was like, wait a minute. And it all kind of started with watching this guy, Galen Windsor, who was worked on the Manhattan Project and set up a lot of nuclear power plants across America, and did talks about how the dangers of radiation are vastly overblown. His premise was that it was because nuclear power is way safer than anyone even knows, and so they wanted to make sure that other fuels were used instead that were much worse for the environment. Interesting. So, who knows if he's right? I don't know. I am not a scientist. I am just a stupid comedian. But he would eat uranium on his talks every time, and he used to swim in the vats of the spent water, and he would just keep plutonium in his pocket, and he'd drink the water, in fact, from the runoff of the water. He have a bottle of it, and he just drink it every day, and he did die in his 80s, but he died of natural causes, not go blue. Hey, Bart, yeah, of course, the Dodgers are kicking butt. But Galen Windsor died of natural causes, not cancer. Go figure. So, I don't know. I'm just looking at this and I'm wondering, I think a lot of what we believe to be true is based on movies we watch and all these other projects, and we think, it must be this, it's got to be this, and I think that's where I got a lot of information. I believe that if you build something, people will come. Got that from a movie. But anyway, my only point to all this is just, look into things more with a more critical mind, because a lot of the things that are in popular culture, it's half, like old wives' tales, and half movies and TV you saw, and the science is always changing, and you know, a lot of the things, I mean, that scientists are notoriously bad about predicting anything. You know, they always say, like, we know what's going to happen. And I go, you don't have a good track record. Most of your predictions are wrong. Like, if you ever watch An Inconvenient Truth today, it's a comedy. It's so much more of a comedy than it was back then. I remember back then I was like, this has to be true. I believed it 100%. And you look into it more, and then you're like, wait, we gained more ice in the ice caps? What's going on? Anyway, I hope everyone has a beautiful weekend and a good Thursday. Goodbye.